So you're wanting to outsource the time suck that is video editing. But how do you find a quality video editor to work with? And how do you make sure that they understand your business and your vision? I'm Annabelle. I'm the video editor behind Evergreen Productions, and I have been editing for 15 years now. So I'm here to give you a peek behind the curtain of what it's like to work with a video editor and how to find the right one for you. Now, there are lots of places online like Upwork or Fiverr where you can find people advertising their video editing services. You can also do a Google search, which will result in a ton of different options, or you can check out video-specific platforms like Vimeo Experts, where you can find experts like me who have been certified by Vimeo. But I will say that the best relationships I've had with clients have come through referrals. What that means is if you're a part of a networking group, a mastermind, if you work with a social media manager or a copywriter, or you attend small business conferences, those are great places to ask around if somebody in your network who you already trust and are familiar with their work, if they know somebody who's a video editor. Now, if you're watching this video, you've already found a great video editor, but you don't have to take my word for it. Here's how to tell if a video editor is going to be the right fit for you. Number one, you want to look at their portfolio. Do they have examples of their work? Does that work have a distinct style? Can you see the individual brands and the individual brand voices shine through in the client work? In an ideal world, you don't want a video editor who's just going to shove your raw footage into a template and crank out a video that looks like everybody else's video on the internet. You want a video editor who's going to be able to apply their creativity, their expertise through the lens of your brand and your personality. I have a playlist on my YouTube channel that showcases a variety of different types of client projects that I've worked on, and I have examples on my website. So I can send both of those things to a potential client who might be interested in working with me so that they can review them and see if stylistically we're a good match. The second thing you're going to want to do is ask questions about their process. Ask them what their workflow is like and what you should expect as a client month to month. Because the more detail-oriented and organized your video editor is, the better. If this video editor has a workflow, a system, a checklist, whatever it may be, it's a good sign that they're going to be able to turn things around reliably and on time. Reliability is key when it comes to video editing. I'll get into my personal process specifically later in this video, and you can check the timestamps below to skip ahead to that part if that's what you're really looking for. But when I start working with a client, I always provide them with a dashboard where they can see how the project is progressing, what their deadlines are, what my deadlines are, and links to all kinds of relevant things, including a guide for their filming, for taking good thumbnails. I try to make it really easy and my process really transparent to the people that I work with. Number 3, you're going to want to read testimonials. You want to make sure that they have publicly available testimonials that you can read and you can get a sense of what it's like to work with that person. Number 4, this is something that's really helpful when you're trying to find out if a video editor is the right fit. It's great to provide inspiration or examples of the types of videos that you're looking for specifically. Not for them to copy necessarily, but for them to pull inspiration from and know the kind of end product that you're looking for. You can, one, compare those examples to what's in their portfolio. Do they have videos in their portfolio that match the kind of inspiration that you have? You'll also want to know whether they feel comfortable with motion graphics, whether they feel comfortable with a green screen. If those are like the types of things that you're going to be wanting in your video, you need to know that your editor is going to be able to handle those things. And even if you don't necessarily know the lingo, the industry lingo to communicate those things to your video editor, if you have examples, a good video editor is going to be able to extrapolate from that. Oh, they're running a lot of motion graphics animation, or they're going to be shooting on a green screen. And are those things that I feel comfortable doing or things that I don't want to do? And that way you find out before you even start going back and forth, as opposed to getting your first draft back and realizing it's nothing at all like what you wanted. You'll also want to know if your video editor has access to stock video libraries or music libraries. If those are elements that you want included in your videos, then You're going to want to make sure that that is something that your video editor has access to. Or do you need to source all of your graphics and all of your stock footage and your music? I share these links with all of my clients, let them know, here are the stock libraries that I use, here are the music libraries that I use, and they have the option of going in and finding things that they really like, or they can just know that I'm going to fill things in based on what I think will work best for the video. And you want to know if that's something that your video editor includes or whether it's an additional price. And number 5, budget is obviously a factor that you're going to be looking at when you're talking to potential video editors. You'll want to know if this video editor that you're working with works hourly or whether they have a per video rate, or maybe they have like a retainer package rate, and what exactly that includes. Whether that includes revisions, what type or level of revisions, and if it doesn't include those things, how much do those things cost? Because that's going to help give you a complete picture of what the budget is actually going to be for this type of project. You can definitely find video editors that are going to work for like $50 to $80 per video, but generally it's a good thing to keep in mind that the lower a video editor's rate, likely the more hand-holding you're going to have to do for that person. You may have to provide them with a little more direction. You might have to go through multiple rounds of revisions, because typically as someone's experience and skill increases, which means less revisions, which means they're more accurately able to capture what you're trying to go for in your video, those video editors are going to be more expensive, more in the $200 to $500 and up range for a long form video like YouTube. So it's definitely a trade-off. If you're working with a cheaper video editor, you might have to invest a little bit more time in training them to be able to do exactly what you are hoping that they'll do. And they may also include less with their packages, but it does mean that you're going to be able to outsource this and get it off your plate sooner because it's at a lower price point. At a higher price point, you're probably going to get a lot more things included. My packages always include 1 round of revisions. They include multiple exports for social media. They include captions for accessibility. So there's a lot of things that I'm able to provide at my level of experience that you might not get with a less experienced video editor. I've worked as a video editor for 15 years. And at this point, I've gotten really good at sending videos to clients that need absolutely no revisions whatsoever. And this is a huge time-saving benefit for my clients because it means that we don't have to do a bunch of extra back and forth and extra emails and all of this to get the video just right. They know that they can send me their files and I'm going to get them really great videos in return with no hand-holding whatsoever. But the good news is, whatever your stage in business, you're going to be able to find somebody who can work with your budget and help you get that video editing off your plate. So now that we've covered how to figure out if a video editor is a good fit for you, let me walk through what my specific workflow process looks like for retainer video editing clients. Step number 1, I always have an initial consultation call with a potential client to talk through their inspiration, their goals, and what platforms they're wanting to prioritize for their video content. Step number 2, I collect all of your branding information. So that's fonts, colors, logos, your important links and social media platforms so that I can make your videos fit seamlessly with what you've already got going on. Step number 3, I spend time reviewing your website, reviewing your social platforms so that I can get a sense for your brand, your voice, and your aesthetic. I also review all the inspiration videos that you sent me before I get started to make sure that I've got the vibe right. Step number 4, and this is the step where you're filming your videos. Most of my clients do 1 long form video per week, like YouTube, and then we splice out or do a collection of shorter videos for the different social media platforms that they're prioritizing. My most successful clients batch their videos, which means they film multiple videos in one day. All they do is change their shirt in between takes to make it look like they're filming on a different day, and then they send me all 4 of those videos, so a whole month's worth of content at one time. This allows you to get the whole process off your plate as quickly as possible. If you're filming in one afternoon, it takes me about half an hour or so per YouTube video that I film. So I can film 4 YouTube videos in about 2.5 hours, including time to set up and all of that. And that means you can spend more time doing the things in your business that you love and less time feeling like you're constantly on the content treadmill. You only have to do it one time a month. Step number 5 is I work my video magic. Clients can track the progress of their project on their dashboard to know where I'm at with editing or what things need to be reviewed. But I also have packages where I'm able to just integrate into your existing project management software. So whether you're on ClickUp or Trello or Asana, I can just come to where you are on the internet and have my workflow in that space, so you only have to check one website, which is a huge bonus if you, like me as a business owner, are constantly trying to keep track of a million different balls in the air and you just can't fathom checking one more website. Step number 6, I deliver all of your drafts digitally at a private link so you can review them and provide any feedback. Now, I usually tell my clients to expect that the first month or two that we work together, this review step is probably going to take a little bit more time because we're still getting to know each other and I'm still learning what you as a client prefer in your videos. Now, a good video editor is going to learn video to video to video and improve, not make the same mistake again and again, and be able to turn back more reliable videos with less need for editing and revisions. Delivering these drafts in a batch also saves you time because it means you can just watch all the videos at once, get in the zone with giving feedback, as opposed to having to check back in week to week to week to week. My goal is personally to minimize the back and forth because the less of that we have to do, the more time you save and the more easeful the whole process feels. Step number 7, once you provide feedback, I will make all the changes, I will caption the videos, and then I'll do the exports for the social media platforms that we are prioritizing. Typically for my clients, this involves their one long YouTube video and then little teasers or snippets that we use for LinkedIn or Twitter or Reels. For example, I have one client who requests an audio-only version that we use for a podcast, another who wants a 20 to 30 second snippet in a square format to post on LinkedIn. I have another client who is really prioritizing her Instagram Reels right now, so we pull several short snippets out of her longer video that she can then post vertically on Reels. As part of my process, I create branded templates for each of these different platforms that we can easily repurpose your videos every month. Step 8, we repeat steps 4 through 7 every single month. I found that the longer I work with a client, the easier the whole process becomes for them. The shooting process goes a lot smoother, the revision process goes a lot smoother, and it just takes a little bit of time to get used to the whole thing. Are you interested in getting started with video content or outsourcing your process to a video editor? I've linked my free Get Started with Video guide in the description of this video. And if you're interested in working with me as your video editor, you can find my contact information below or through the contact form on my website.